If you guys are able. Hi everyone, good evening. In case I'm audible and you are here listening to me, I would request you to please say yes in the comment box. So, what we are going to discuss today. Welcome everyone. This is the Start Confident series with Internshala. My name is Salvi, and I'll be the person who will be conducting this session today. And this session is about how to build people first culture into any organization. I think many of us has heard about these terms into any given point of time in our career, such as engagement, culture, DEI initiatives, data, and as well as the usage of AI. Every one of us knows that AI is transforming the market. So that's what we are going to discuss today. Before moving forward in the session, let me just give you a little bit introduction about me and why I'm here and you should listen to me. That is what we will cover first. Hi everyone, my name is Salvi Chowdhary. Right now I'm associated with the Internshala. Before moving to Internshala, I have 9+ years of experience into HR domain, specifically as an HRBP, L&D expert and talent acquisition person. I've started my careers 9 years back with Accenture, then moved to KPMG and Bechtel. This is a little bit about my credentials that you would be, curious to know. What we are offering and what you will learn in this session today. What people first culture looks beyond buzzword. So I think many of you have heard about the words such as engagement, DEI, other initiative. What exactly these things meant? And HR engagement. Does HR all are always there to make rangoli, or is there anything beyond that? So I'm going to bust that myth as well. What DEI metrics that can actually help us to drive any change in the organization? What are the AI tools that we can use to do all these tasks? And the last one is culture initiative designed to stick and sail. Okay, so I hope this is something that you guys would be interested to know. So let's just move forward in the session. What we will be covering in this 60-minute session today. So first things first, we will understand people first culture. I think many of you have heard about this phrase a lot of time during interviews, in the JDs, and most of the time on the LinkedIn post. But what exactly people first culture looks like and what does it mean? This is what I'm going to break down for you. What exactly engagement data we are referring to? DEI metrics. So DEI stands for diversity, equality, and inclusion. There are certain metrics, or I would say there are certain indicators that we will be tracking throughout the journey into an HR life to ensure that our organization is more towards the people-centric approach rather than just working on the processes and policy. And obviously, the most interesting one is AI and listening, how AI is transforming this particular domain of HR for us. This is what we are going to cover. And the last one is a Q&A. In case you have any question, you can just write in the comment box. I'll just take it and we will, clarify the doubts if there is any. I hope every one of you are ready and we can move forward with the discussion. Okay. So the first, before starting off with the session, there is a question popping up your screen. What does culture mean in your organization right now? Is it option A, it's thriving, people feel genuinely valued? Is it B, it's talk about but not always felt? C, we are building it, work in progress? And D, honestly, it's a poster on wall. Whatever you feel like is most resonates with you, you can write in the comment box. Or in case you feel like all four are there and you resonate with all four, that is also fine. You guys can write in the chat box, please. Okay. Ishika has written A part. Radhika have said option C. Okay. So I think somewhere or the else, we all have faced this kind of issue. Okay. People says that, okay, fine, that, you are valued and you actually felt that way. Sometime in the organizations, it is like it is there, but it is not always, felt. So as an HR professionals, and I hope you guys are all interested and you wanted to feel that, culture in your organization should actually be the A always. Your people should feel that they are genuinely valued and they can work well. You Whatever they do in the organization is actually getting recognized, and they felt like welcome, or I would say engaged while coming to an office. Okay. Moving forward, since many of you have said A, so I hope your organization is already, doing really well in the terms of engagement. The first thing is, I have written, this is a culture is not a perk, it's a practice. Many of the time, organizations sell, or I would say, position themselves in the market as a good place to work, while adding some of the, there are certain things that you are seeing on the left side of the slide, which is a myth. These organizations put themselves in the market like we are a good place to work because we offer XYZ thing. But in reality, these are not the perks. Okay. Employee engagement or people first approach cannot be the perk for any employee. It should be the practice. It should come like, something which is available, readily available for everyone. Myth, likewise, I would say, a foosball table in the breakout room, mandatory fun Fridays, vague values over a wall. We are like family here. Annual culture survey with no follow up. These are just, for the sake of it happening activities. But the reality is, good cultures look like when people have a psychological safety where they can speak up their mind. Okay. There is a manager who actively listen to them, equitable growth opportunity in irrespective of your any demographics. Okay, whether you are male, female, belonging to any particular caste, creed, or religion, anything. When policies are the centermost part of your organization, consistent and fair people decision, this is something inevitable for a good culture. Acting on what employees share, just conducting a survey without taking any action on it is, I think, just a, a formality. Instead of that, when we are actually listening to the employee what they want, and management or the stakeholders take actions for it, that is what the reality is all about. How many of you thinks in your current organization, whatever the surveys has been conducted are actually getting taken care of, or your feedback matters to your organization? Type yes or no in the comment box. I'll just be, having a look into the comment box. If you feel that your current organization is actually giving any heads up to the feedback that you guys are sharing. Okay. Advocate Mansi have said, yes, ma'am, they are. Ashok Kumar, yes. Great, guys. In case, I would say in that case, you are one of the lucky few people who are in the organization which are actually taking the accountability of the feedback that you guys are sharing. But it does not happen. I think it is not for everyone in the group, those who are listening. Okay. Since many of you have said yes, let me just show you how these practices are actually helping me to build the good DEI initiative and a culture where people feel safe and welcome to come to work. There are 4 pillars of people first culture that we are discussing today. Cultural lives in the intersection of these 4 commitments. So in case any of these 4 commitments are there in your organization, it means your organization is actually having a culture where they put their employees first. First one is safety and trust. Okay. Psychological safety, transparency, fair treatment every day. That is, I think, a bare minimum for a good working condition. Second, giving you ample of opportunity for your own growth and development, meaningful work, L&D investment, and visible career pathways. And the third one is voice and inclusion. I personally feel that voice and inclusion matters a lot because this particular aspect shape, or I would say, pave the path for the employee engagement. Every employee should feel heard. DEI should be embedded. It cannot be the perk or something that you put on the walls as a poster, but it should be there into day-to-day dealing. Recognition and meaning. Means whatever the work you are doing, you are actually getting recognized for it, you are actually getting appraised for it. That is how the people first culture look like. How many of you feel that your current organization have these all four? Just say yes or no in the chat box so I'll be aware. Which one, or you can also mention which of these four pillars personally you feel that, this should be there if I'm joining any organization. Which particular factor you will incline towards more? Is it safety, it's growth, voice and inclusion, or recognition? Which one do you think, guys, is more important for you? Just write in the chat box. Okay. Growth and development. Okay. Ishika has wrote about growth and development. What about others? Which of these factors, I would say, is the most important for you all? Divansh have said that it's all. Okay. Safety and growth. Okay. Growth and development. Growth and development. Okay. Voice and inclusion. Cool. So many of you have come across these particular thing, growth and development and voice and inclusion. These two or three are the more, I would say, the common factors that every one of you are picking up. But let me clarify, these all four work hands in hand. None of these single factor can work into their own solitude, and these are not, they cannot work into the silos. Okay. Unless and until you have safety and trust there in your organization or in your manager or stakeholders, how would you share your feedback, or how would you share that, these are the aspect I want to grow? And if the communication is not there, your voice is not never heard, which we talk about voice and inclusion, how the growth and development will work? Okay. And if growth and development is not there, obviously the recognition also fails. So these four factors are the non-negotiable four pillar of people first culture. In case you want, you guys can note down these 4 pointers. In case you are HR practitioners, you wanted to join any organization, these are the 4 factors that you always should check upon. Or you can build your further people first culture strategy based on these 4 pointers. Okay, good. Let's just move forward further into it, and let's just have a look into a bit of stats over here. The business case for the culture. Any organization, when we say that this organization has a really good culture, then what are the numbers it is reflecting, and does it actually have any impact on business? Let me just give you a simple walkthrough. Culture is not soft. Poor culture has very hard cost, and that is something we all have understood as of now. In case the organization is having a good culture, 85% of employees are not engaged at work globally. It's a Gallup survey by 2024. Okay. In case your 85% employees are not engaged, your organization is failing on the cultural part. 2x more likely to leave in a year if the culture is poor. It means, this is an SHRM research, means 2x time of attrition. People will be leaving the organization without any further, I would say, indication. 15 to 20 lakh average cost to replace one mid-level employee in India. Yes, that's a reality. There is a simple, we have always heard this particular phrase that, maintenance is maintaining something is a little bit more cheaper as compared to replacing it. And that's the reality. When 2x people are leaving the organization due to poor culture, we would end up spending at least 15 to 20 lakh average cost to replace one mid-level employee. And when I say the word mid-level employee, I'm referring to the employees, those who are having 7+ years of experience to in between 8 years. Okay, 7 to 8 years kind of experience, those who are into mid-senior level. 23% higher profitability in the organization with engaged team. And this is something I would always stand by. Again, this has been a survey done by the Gallup with the Meta Analytics. Okay, so Gallup within collaboration with Meta have done this research where they have said that we have seen 23% high profitability in the organization where the employees are feel heard, because when employees are feel heard, their engagement automatically spikes, and when the engagement is there, their productivity also increase. When employees are actually feeling valued, taken care at work, they end up being more productive. How many of you align with this thing, that in case you are getting considered in your organization as an important member, your productivity will get higher? Just say yes or no in the comment box. How many of you feel that if you are engaged with your organization, that will automatically reflects in your work? Actually, I feel so. If I'm going to organize, if I'm going to work and I don't feel like, valued, my suggestion is not taken care of, in that situation, I might not be able to perform that well. And I think most of you also resonate with me. So as an HR professional, it's become our key responsibility area that we work upon the processes to have a better culture for other people, those who are joining our team. Let's just have a look at the bit of employee engagement data, the early warning system. What exactly we are referring to employee engagement data? So HR analytics is being one of the top topic into the current domain. When I talk about the analytics, these are some strategical, or I would say statistical things that help us to understand whether my processes are working fine or not. Some of these things we are discussing today with respect to DEI initiative and employee engagement. Okay. The metrics that actually tells you something. The first one is ENPS. Okay. ENPS is a key metrics, or you can say the key performance indicator for employee engagement. ENPS stands for Employee Net Promoter Score. If in a layman term I talk about it, it is a score that help you to understand how likely your employee to recommend you as a place of work to their friends and family. It is a very simple question, like say I'm currently working at an organization right now. How content I feel, so I can refer my friends and family to work in the same place. Okay, this particular score help us to understand whether my current employee is feeling engaged at work or not. We track this particular metrics quarterly, and it means after every 3 months we track this particular metrics to understand my employee engagement trend. The next one is Pulse survey. Many of you have heard about it into some time of your career. Pulse survey are short, frequent beat, and a kind of a survey designed in such a way that we will be asking you 15 to 25 questions. Okay, this will be based upon different aspect of employee engagement. Remember, we have discussed 4 pillar of employee or the people first culture. So I'll be asking you question like that. You feel valued at work? Did you get all sort of opportunity to bring to learn something new which is related to L&D, and so on and so forth? This survey helped me to understand whether my employee engagement initiatives are working fine or not. And the last one is retention rate. I think this one is something that every one of you would be aware about. Retention means that employee, those who are staying in your organization for a particular duration. Okay, it's not just the overall number. It is, we break it down by the team, tenure, and demographic to understand better whether I'm able to retain or to have my employees stick with me a little longer. Moving to the next one, 3 signal that every HR manager should watch. I think this is something where we all are, I think, get more curious for this particular metrics. When these 3 signals are there, it means as an HR manager, we have to get back into our warrior kind of a mentality. The first one is declining ENPS. So as I mentioned above, ENPS is Employee Net Promoter Score. If your ENPS is declining, it means your current employee does not want to recommend you as a place of work to their friends and family. It means there is a very early sign of disengagement. It can lead to the attrition in the next 3 to 6 months. Then what are the actions we can take for that? The actions that can be taken for that is trigger team level survey. Okay, we can have a pulse survey within a particular team to understand where the blockage is. Skip level conversation. Skip level means, let's say, if they are not comfortable speaking to their manager, they can speak someone up in the hierarchy who can understand their concern a little better. In case suddenly your employees have started or stopped uh, putting out their responses in the survey, that also means they are losing the trust on you. Okay, they have already assumed that their feedback will not always been acted on, and that is what you guys have mentioned when I've started my session with the poll. Many of you have said, but sometimes your organization actually look into the feedback by the and the other time they don't. Okay, if that is the case, what we should do, we should close the loop publicly, share what you have heard and what you'll do. I think many of you us as well, once you feel your complaint, your feedback has been acknowledged and there is a team who will look into it, you automatically felt that you have your opinion matters to them. And that is one of the actions we can take. The next one is manager effectiveness dip. It means team score diverging from organization by 15 point. It means um, people are losing their trust over their managers. Okay, why 70% of engagement variance is driven by the direct managers? It is the reality. People does not leave the organization, people leave the bad managers. So at this point of time, I think every one of us understood that training their managers is equally very important. No matter what, how good policies you are having, what practices you do, unless and until your manager has not been trained on these aspects, it can never work. Okay, manager coaching, structured feedback, 360-degree assessment. And specifically, I personally rely on 360-degree assessment. Why? Because these 360-degree assessment help me to understand a particular employee into overall aspect, how he is dealing with his peer member, how he is dealing with the junior member. Okay, when everyone gives the feedback for an individual, we are able to understand that these are the aspects that this person need to be trained on. I hope, how many of you thinks, in case you will be going to leave your organization um, in the current, I think in the next 2 to 3 months, which signal you will use? Signal 1, 2, or 3? Which signals you guys would be, depicting? Is it because of your managers? Do you feel that your feedback has not been taken care into, or there is in general, a kind of a disengagement? You don't know there is something which is not working. Just say, if you rely with the manager's option, say manager in the comment box. If you feel like your feedback does not matter to the organization, write feedback. Or if you feel like, there is a disengagement, I don't feel connected to my organization or my work, then write disengagement in the comment box. This helped me to understand your approach. I'm just waiting for your responses in the chat box, guys. Okay. Meanwhile, manager. Okay, I think this is something every one of us relate to, and that's why this particular phrase has been, used by many of the organization. Okay. So I think it becomes really important for us not to just have a good diversity, equality, and inclusive policies and practices. Is actually training the manager how to get these things implied on the ground level. I think everyone is with me on this part. Okay. How just let's just have a look into this engagement pulse check. Okay. Can you just write, or you can just use this as a simple activity on your own? There are few questions which I have given, and every question have some rating. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would say rate all your questions and just give me the rating in the comment box. I understand how my work contributes to the organization. Radhika have said, yeah, 3. The next one is my manager regularly check in on my growth and well-being. Whatever you guys feel like. And I think many of you have mentioned the manager. So without any further assumption, I would assume it would be one. I feel safe raising concern without fear of consequences. This is actually very important. Many of the time, people try to put things under the carpet. They don't discuss it because they know that their manager will not support. The organization does not have a policy which can safeguard them. Okay, they have to bear the repercussions. That's why people does not speak about certain issue. Recognition in my team is consistent and meaningful. How many of you relate to it? The last one, recognition actually is something that you guys are at, you feel like that it is working fine in your organization. Avinash have said, I think Vansh have said 4. Great. What about other than Vansh? Recognition in my team is consistent and meaningful. You feel like that when your manager recommends someone as a employee of the month, any other, service, there are multiple rewards or recognition there. If you feel your organization feel it's meaningful, then fine. And if you feel it is just for the sake of it, then say it too. Okay. Some of you have said 4 and some of you have said 2. Okay. Those who have said with 2, I would say, guys, you need to have a look into your employee engagement policy of your organization. Okay. Now let's talk about the DEI metrics. Okay. As I've mentioned, DEI is about diversity, equality, and inclusion. There are certain metrics that we can track to understand what are the actions that we need to take. It is very clearly said which DI metrics actually matter and how to act them without tokenizing. The first 3-level DEI measurement framework, it is there on the screen. The level 1, representation, higher rate by gender, caste category, disability, leadership diversity ratio, interview panel, and composition. This will help me to understand result of intern with icon. Okay. Who is in the room? Level 2 is inclusion, building score in Pulse survey, pay equity gap analysis, promotion rate parity by demographics. Do they actually belong in that organization? And for equality, we can check retention rate by demographic group, access to mentorship and sponsorship, L&D spend parity across the employee segment. Are the outcome fair? In case every of these 3 metrics, if we are able to track, this will help me to understand like my DEI initiative is working fine or not. If I give you a very simple example, let's say many of the time organization, introduce specific recruitment drive to hire female people or the returning after maternity, when the female join the workforce, there is a lot of diversity hiring that we do. But for some reason, inclusion is getting failed and lot of organization. The pay gap is always there. Okay. Just because someone has written after a break, promotion rate is, you all know that it will not be the same as compared to other employees. L&D spend, let's say you have hired many people, but does you spend equally on all those employees? That is what the L&D spend parity talks about a lot. When all of these DEI initiatives come together, this come as a framework that we can actually measure in numbers to make our policies and processes more efficient. In case you feel like any of these metrics you want to discuss, you can write in the comment box. I will help you to understand that particular metrics in our detail. Any of it. I think with this, let's just have a look forward. How to read the DEI dashboard. This is a very important aspect because not everyone is, aware about the technical jargons that I have used in my previous slide. Okay, so just to simplify this, I have created a simple dashboard, a sample data from mid-size IT organization. This is just an illustrative. If you can see, we have 68% male members, just 30% as a female members, and 2% as a binary employee. Okay, people those who does not, uh, I would say, identify themselves as a conventional male or female. They just tell, they prefer not to choose any kind of, gender assigned at birth. Promotion rates for women are 36% lower than the man, a clear equity gap. Action needed, manager level accountability for not having a more diversity hiring. How is it possible, like 22%, maximum promotion is happening for the male members, okay, and the female members are still struggling, those they are actually very less in number. So they are less in number, that's why they are not getting that much of promotion as well. So it's become really important for us as an organization and as a part of a particular team to have more female employees on the board, or to have a policy where we can actually offer non-binary people to join our organization. Okay, so that any kind of promotion or any other particular thing is not being equipped or I would say occupied by a particular group only. The next one is, let's discuss the AI and employee listening. How AI is changing how professionals read the room. It has become really, really important in the current domain to understand these AI tools, how we can leverage them to make this employee engagement, D&I initiative little bit more, I would say, approachable and doable for all. The first one is sentiment analysis. I think many of the time when you guys log into your YouTube Premium or any of that, I would say Netflix or Spotify, sometime it asks you about your mood. Okay, how are you feeling today? Would you like to hear the devotional song? Would you like to hear any kind of pop-up song? Just you feel happy? If you say that on Spotify, I'm feeling happy, it will curate a playlist that will suit your I would say mood. Same way we use sentiment analysis to work in HR. The first one is we run certain surveys. We do exit survey, we conduct team messages with consent. Obviously consent is very important. You cannot capture any employee's private chat without their consent. That is a punishable offense, guys. Never do that. Capture those understanding, like what they are feeling. Analyze, there's an NLP model. NLP is natural language processor. This will help us to understand that what you guys are feeling. To give a simplified version of it, I will tell you, let's say me and you guys are having a chat over a particular channel, and you guys are using certain emojis multiple times in your chat. So what NLP will do, NLP will analyze the text that you are using, okay, with those emoji and help me to understand how you are feeling today. Next time we can create a dashboard or team level trend to understand at what particular time your mood gets better, what are the things that is working for you, okay, and what are the things that gives you stress. And once I have that kind of data, I know what are the aspect that is triggering your responses. I can act on it. Okay, I can target the nudges, recommended the next step. Let's assume once I'm just giving you a very real example. When we are working, we used to have a morning catch up. It's a regular team meeting that we guys conduct. So most of the what happened when I have to present something over that meeting, or my other team member have to, they feel anxious about it. Okay, and whatever the chats we are having before that meetings, it shows that trend that people are getting anxious till the time that meetings get over. This helped me to decide, okay, fine, I need to change the way we conduct these kind of meeting. Okay, so instead of just having a look, asking one particular person to present a particular piece of work, we just say that okay, fine, let's just have a look what we have done in the previous week. Okay, build a strategy, and then you can send an email to us instead of just getting anxious, like I have to share this, I have to get this done because my manager will get unhappy with my performance and all that. So we can develop a little bit of out of the box solution for that. And I think that's the reason we guys are into HR, that we are here to build some out of the box solution. What are the tools that we can use or leverage to do all this? There is Qualtrics Excel. Okay, then we have cultural amp. Uh, there is a LinkedIn have one extension that we call Glint. We have Lena AI. I think everyone, some of you might have heard about it. If someone is using the HRMS which is Keka, it also give you that kind of aspect. It asks you how you're feeling today. Chat GPT plus you can use Chat GPT to leverage your survey data to understand where exactly we are falling short of. Did you feel that all these things is something that is doable from the perspective of an HR, or would you like to do it in your next I would say role? Okay, many of you have said yes. Okay. Let me just give you a next heads up. Okay, how this AI cultural tool can actually help us. Let's just have a simple understanding. Employee listening, just to have an understanding of your employee, we can use cultural amp, Glint, and Qualitrix. It will help me to continuously track my employees' emotional health. Okay. For chatbots, we can use Lena AI, KekaBot, and Darwin Box. These are 24/7 employee queries, onboarding, leave, and policy. I think you can leverage AI HR chatbot same as ChatGPT. I think many of you use ChatGPT on a daily basis to just Google your symptoms, okay, or to have a normal understanding of any particular thing that you're going towards. That's how the Chat GPT developed the understanding what you're going through, what are the aspect you're facing trouble, so it give you answers on that basis. Then we have predictive analytics. So clarifying the word predictive analytics is when we use analytical data to understand what happened in the previous years or previous time, use that historical data to do some analysis and predict some future outcome of it. Okay, the first one of it is flight risk distinction, succession planning, and skill gap analysis. Okay, these are the few things that we get to know by using predictive analytics. DIY AI tools, which is very low cost, such as ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. These are very important, or I would say easily available tool that every one of us can leverage while doing all these things. Or we can leverage these tools to build a good culture, people first culture strategy into our organization. You can create surveys on them, you can draft policy, you can culturally, you can audit your current policies to check whether it is supporting the claim of people first organization, yes or no, whatever it is. Pro tip, even a free ChatGPT account can analyze open-ended survey response and identify top themes in under 5 minutes. Yes. So let's say you have run a survey through your 10-50 employees. You can use those open-ended questions and share it with ChatGPT. It will help you to understand what are the top themes, which is the which should be your pointers while making your strategy or changing anything in respect to the practices that you do at your workplace. Okay. The next one is a very simple thing, and with this, I would say that I will somewhat near the conclusion of our session. This framework is called SEED framework. Okay, something start small, embedded in the process, do the things which is more of an evidence based, and design with people. Start small means when someone is raising their concern and they are asking you to take some action, or they are actually looking up to you, you can just start taking a small actions at a particular time. You can continue doing this by embedded them in process. Next one is it should be evidence based. Nothing should be on the basis of assumption or intuition. It should be evidence based. And the last one, D, stands for design with people. Co-create with the employees, not for them. You cannot make a policy by sitting in a closed cabin for the people who is working at the ground, because their challenges, their aspect is very different from what we can assume. So it's better to have co-create with your employees, involve. When you ask them to get involved in the process, yes, their ownership increase. And I think that is pretty much same for everyone. Whenever we feel that, our opinion matters. We take more accountability of our actions. So I think whenever you guys are building your next people first centric, I think strategies or processes, you will always consider the STEET framework. The next one is 30, 60, and 90 days first cultural roadmap. Once you enter any organization, your first 90 days means a lot to any organization. Okay. First to 30 days is to just listen and diagnose. The next 31 to 60 days is, where you start taking up small actions. Okay. You understand what exactly this organization is all about. And last 61 to 90 days is scale and sustain. Okay. So once someone joined, you can run an engagement survey to understand whether they feel engaged. You can audit the DNI, metrics of that particular team or a department. Map current cultural touch point. For the next 60 days, you can set up the AI listening tool, because for a new employee, it becomes really important that they are feeling heard, because they don't know much of the people they are working with, the organization they are coming into. And the last 90 days could be more towards, training your manager on data literacy, closing the loop with the respondent, and all that. In case you want, you can take a snapshot of this slide. It will help you to build a people first culture roadmap in the first, I would say, in the first 90 days. I have designed these three phases into it. First one is listen and diagnose for my current employee. Then we have design and pilot, where we will be launching some initiative. And 61 to 90 days is more about scaling and sustaining those approaches. Okay. Okay, before we conclude my session, that's 5 things to remember when we are building people first culture. Culture is something that we built in daily practices, not just perks. Engagement data is your early warning system. Whenever you feel like ENPS, disengagement metrics, or anything is going haywire, you need to take an action first. DEI without equity metrics is just an optics. It means, let's say, any organization claiming themselves that we are very, we support D&I initiative, but they don't have any metrics to track. It means it is just there for the, I would say, promotions only. It is not something they actually meant. AI give you the better data. Empathy is still on yours to give. Yes, AI tools can actually give you the raw data and the insight without sugarcoating it. You guys are better humans, and you can, act on the empathy of it. But I think for more of a raw facts and figure, you can leverage AI. Design cultural initiative with employee, not for them. Whenever we are building any kind of initiative, it should be based for the people, not it should be co-created with them, not just in silos. Build a culture with intention. Yes, exactly, your intentions matters a lot. Pick one metrics to track in the next 30. It is not like that you have to track all the metrics that we have discussed today in the one go. No, you can pick one for the next 30 days. Once that particular number gets stabilized, you can move to next one. Have one honest culture conversation with your team. Honest mean where they are not feeling judged. Likewise, you guys have shared me your pointers that many of you feel that your managers have something that you guys are not very comfortable discussing. So these need to be very honest conversation with your employees, at least. And the last one is, I think, foremost important in the current domain, that we at least try one AI tool to do the sentiment analysis for my employees in a 1 month. Okay, that is non-negotiable, because this will help me to understand what exactly the employees are feeling and how we can resolve that. Okay, this was the formal part of the session. Now I am open for a quick Q&A. Whatever the questions that you have came up during the session, you can write in the comment box. One cultural thing you will do differently from tomorrow after attending this session, and what is the biggest cultural challenge you are stuck on? You can mention all of these in the comment box. I would be very eager to understand what is your responses. Any question that you have come up with, you can write in the comment box. Something that you will change in your approach, you can also mention that. Or a cultural change that you will be stuck at. I think no one have any questions over here, or okay. So guys, with this, I'll wrap up my session. In case you wanted to learn more about this thing, you can visit the what is AI. Okay, Anindita have asked, AI is the artificial intelligence tool that will help me to automate my HR tasks to get my work done with more in more efficiency and accuracy, Anindita. So there are certain tools that we can leverage. Okay. What are the struggle challenges once we have taken? What are the struggle challenge once we have taken in AI? Can you NLP model and ma'am equity level? Okay, so let me clarify. So AI are the tools that worked on the artificial intelligence. Obviously, they are not smart. It's like humans. They cannot take accountability of the emotions and all, but they can give you the raw data, facts, and figure, which you can actually translate into the HR insight. When someone talk about NLP is natural language processor. Natural language means something that based upon, let's say we are interacting with each other. So what NLP model will do, it will understand how I'm generally speaking to you, what my words meant to you, and on that basis, it will it will give me the insight of any particular data that I have talked about. Okay. Ma'am, I want photo of that slide which you have told. Okay. Vaishnavi, I just share it again. How can I maintain a strong culture while working in a remote or hybrid environment? Amuz, I would still say that having a good culture does not always mean that, you know, uh, we have to do the employee engagement surveys and all that. It's better that we are actually, your employees feel heard. Okay. Their feedback matters. Your reward and recognition system is strong enough. Okay. And the foremost thing, that policies actually speak for themselves. Okay. Even if it's a remote and hybrid work environment, everyone feels same at work. There is no kind of biasness while dealing with any employee. Ma'am, what are the tools for maintaining and working with AI? Vaishnavi, I have mentioned that in my one of my slide. Okay, Ayushi Thakur, inclusion level 1. So I think someone have asked me, ma'am, what are the tool we can use in the AI? Okay, guys, I think every one of you is have been taken a screenshot of this slide. Then we'll move to the AI tools again. Okay, let me just give you, these are the AI tools that you can leverage. Ishika has asked, but everything can't be achieved. How can we create a balance among all things? Ishika, I agree that not we one shoes does not fit all. We cannot track all of these things, but I would say at least as per the need of your organization, you can find few metrics that is non-negotiable. Okay, I'm not asking that you have to track every of it. No, just have let's say your current goal is to have a balanced, or I would say equal number of people from different domain into the organization. Let's just take a simple example of male female ratio, or I would say gender wise ratio. In that case, we can consider you can track the metrics of gender equality. Okay, the ratios of different demographics, that these are the things you can track. Depending upon your goals, you can, on that basis of that goals, you can identify the metrics that you need to track. Not everything needs to be done at one go. What is the use of that DEI level? Ayushi, that DEI level helped me to understand whether the policies or the processes that I'm speaking about is actually getting reflected in the actions or not. Because without tracking these numbers or metrics, we are just, saying certain things in the air, which is no longer, I would say, important, or I would say something that you just, for the sake of it being there, you do it, but you don't actually mean for it. Okay. So these DEI level help me to translate my policies and processes into number. In very generic term, I'm saying something that you can measure, you will be able to manage. Okay. So for the DEI also, if we have metrics that we can measure, it will help me to manage it better. Ma'am, can you show me the questions? Ma'am, can you share the, guys, sharing of PPT? It's a YouTube live stream, so I don't know whether I'll be able to share it or not. But I think it's not possible. What is DEI level? Okay, so Mansi, I have divided the DEI initiative into three parts. Okay, certain metrics into three parts. So I think someone is asking about the questions. So question is there on the screen. If you wanted, you can take a screenshot of it. Then I'll move to DEI level. What is AI HR chatbots? Vaishnavi, AI HR chatbots are basically, a kind of, I think you guys have spoken for the support of Myntra, Blinkit, and all that. So there's chatbot who is reviewing your questions. So very basic questions. Same way we have an HR which can help you to tackle the basic HR queries. Okay, let me just give you the look of DNI. Okay, so this is the DEI level that we are speaking about. Level 1, representation, which is more towards who is in the room. The level 2, inclusion, and level 3 is equity. Okay, if you want, you guys can take a screenshot of this as well. Any further questions? In case anyone have any other question, they can write in the chat box. I can just, review it and help you with it. Okay. I think with this, guys, thanks you so much. I'll wrap up my session. And it's pleasure connecting with you all. In case you have any queries or concern, you can reach me out by, you can just, visit the Internshala's page and, get in touch with their team. They can help you to, resolve your query. Thanks everyone for your time today. Wishing you all the best. We'll see each other in the next session.